how do you want to handle this conversation? Like, do you want to do it like a sort of social combat in which we try to calm him down, or like
Well,
depends how you wanna do it.
yeah. Because as of right now, I'm playing it that the guy has mental damage, and has taken like consequences to attempt to like, well, still be sane. So we could. I mean, if you're going to try and talk to him out of it, social combat would make the most sense, really.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a bit out of the box because usually it's the other way around. You try to inflict consequences on somebody, but like we could do that. You could set him up with a defense. I don't know what would feel appropriate for you, like a defense skill that you would roll, and we would roll, I guess, rapport or empathy. Uh, it would be your call on that.
Yeah.
Uh, Once again, tell me to shut up if I'm like overstepping. I don't want to do that. But
No, it's fine, man. Keep going. I'll tell you. Don't worry. It's
and yeah, that would basically. I'm not sure what kind of attack, like between like inverted commas, he would be doing. Maybe he would be trying. I don't know. Or
yeah.
you could do it like a chase thing where we need to. Yeah, maybe that's more appropriate. Like we need to make him come down before he completely loses it for a while, and we have to reach certain amount of shift. So we roll a skill like rapport and empathy once again. I think those either of those is the most appropriate one.
Yeah, that'd be one of the ones I'd make you roll. Maybe, well, it depend on how you guys would want to go about doing it. If you are trying to, like, get a rapport with him, get him talking just about anything, and then slowly trying to build him back up to normal conversation and try and that, or if you were very much like not attacking but confronting the fact that he's had something very bad done to him and saying, right, I understand that, we're trying to push past it. It'd be depending on how you'd want to go, but rapport or empathy would be the two.
So I guess it depends how you want to do it.
Yeah. I was initially thinking that I'd just, with all the stuff that was done to him, I'd set a total and you'd have to try and beat it. But I do like the idea of the chase for you guys trying to slowly bring him back round.
Yeah, I think the chase mechanics are like we start with a certain amount of shift between us. Like I think it's 5, the most common one, and then we roll our skill. He rolls his skill, and like you either add or subtract those shifts. So if I roll a +4 and he rolls a +2, I get 3 shifts closer, and if he gets 10 away, he wins, inverted commas.
Yeah.
If I get to 0, we win, and we get like him talking or something like that. Like that's one of the things with Fate system, that it's very flexible. You can come up with this kind of stuff in there.
Yeah, that's no problem. So that would be under running a conflict in the main book. Then I would assume that.
Yeah, I think there is a section for chases, but I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I don't want to like kidnap your game.
No, it's fine, man. Yeah, you're not. I mean, part of the reason I'm doing this is very much because I want to. I want to be in these situations. These are, I don't know the rules as well too well. I've read through the book a couple of times, but it's a really fucking complex. It's an in-depth system. So I want to be in the situation where people come up with these ideas, because it's, in this situation it's better than the one I had. This is much more interesting. Where are we? Zones of movement, barrier, chases. Okay. Okay. Yes, the race. Okay, I've got it.
Yeah, race.
Yeah, an extended conflict. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That seems like the best idea. I'll set the. Say he's had quite a bit of damage done to him, and you guys have got a couple. Yeah, 10. Yeah, 10 seems good. We'll do that. And he's got a couple of maneuvers on him at the minute. Did Astra end up rolling the law check? No, she didn't. So we'll wait until Jason gets back, so Astra can roll that, and then after that's been established, whoever wants to engage in this chase with her, with Frank, can, to try and get him speaking coherently. Hey, welcome back. Okay, so did you want to do that law check to try and put another aspect on him?
Sure. So in this case,
go ahead. Target number is 3, like most maneuvers are.
Okay.
And that beats it. What sort of aspect were you going for here then? What do you want the name of it to be?
Let's say something like psychology of fear, so we sort of know a bit about what he's gone through.
Okay, that seems very, that seems good to me.
I thought you were gonna do like a Harry Potter thing and give him chocolate because it helps with the mentor.
Right.
So
all
so
you need is hope.
He's got 2 aspects on him now. Who wants to be the one to engage in this kind of, well, empathetic race with him to bring him back to a sort of a humanity, as it were? Yeah.
So I think I could do well.
Yeah. You have 3 empathy and you've got the connection.
I have 4 actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely.
Empathy. Yep. Okay. Well, we'll start this off then as a sort of empathetic race, right? So you've got 2 invokes on him already.
Great.
Yep. Which is already great, and you'll be rolling a great as well. So you're rolling at +8 for this one. I've set the target at 10.
So is this the first one to get to 10 wins?
Yes, we will have that.
Okay, that sounds perfect.
Just double checking that I am understanding the rules for this one.
Well, I just read them, and there are 2 types. There is the race, which is looks like it's more about who
and then cat and mouse
second more than and cat and mouse is probably better.
Yeah,
because there is like a time limit. Sort of like you say, there are going to be 3 rolls, and he starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he starts ahead, I think.
Well, the hard limit is set on the number of opposed rolls with the winner. In this case, okay, we'll say it's been quite a lot of damage that has been done to him, so I'll set the rolls at. I'll do 5 rolls, but I'll have him initially 1 ahead because he's quite far gone. But obviously, with the maneuvers you've set up, this should be a relatively easy win for you guys. So it's so you'll be using your empathy skill for it, and Frank will be. I don't know what the most appropriate skill would be.
You could use one of his consequences.
Oh, sorry. Say that again.
You could use one of his consequences. Like, this could be a bit too difficult if he has extreme consequence on, but that's kind of what we are going for. Like, or if he has a moderate or a severe consequence, that could be what we are rolling against.
Yeah. It could work. Those ones have the like numbers against them. Then, or are you okay?
Usually, mild is a 2 stress consequence.
Yeah.
Moderate is 4.
4, and then
is
6. That's the one.
Extreme is 8. So a 6 one would be quite hard because I'm rolling 4, so 5 rolls I'm not going to have enough. So I'm probably going to need the assistance of my companions further on. Like,
I've got 5 for that then. 5 should be winning against. Right. Okay. Okay. Well. If I'm rolling, if I end up rolling the consequence, which would be the dice. Well, the 4 fate dice plus 6, which is quite heavy.
well, if
quite
you do it,
difficult.
But this is a bit meta talking and talking about the system. But if you do it 3 rolls instead of 6, I already have 2 aspects, so I can get unequal rolls twice, and then I can spend a fate point to make the third roll, on equal ground.
Yeah, I'll say that. Well, we'll give him a moderate consequence, so I'll be rolling +4, and we'll forego the me ahead, and we'll put them on sort of equal ground for this.
Okay.
And 3 rolls, as you say. So he'll start 4 defense +4.
Okay.
4 fate dice +4.
So it's gonna be 3 rolls.
Yeah, 3 rolls, and it was just essentially we'll roll off as we're trying to converse. You're using your empathy here, aren't you? So you're trying to sort of slowly coach him back into the real world, as it were.
I'm going to burn the Attis for invoke first.
Yeah.
So I'm rolling 6.
Yep. Okay. That is under the cat and mouse rules. Yeah, you beat that, so it's 1 on your side as you're you're using the fact that you're at ease. Slowly just getting into his sort of personal bubble as he's still twitching, making just ridiculous noises that just don't make sense. And just saying various words.
Untying him carefully.
Yeah. He's
like this tiny lady next to this guy.
Initially very well, it's a case of, in this case, you're
as non-threatening as it can be, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say your size probably helps here as well, as he's like initially taken aback by somebody just like touching him, and then it's like, oh wait, you're tiny, this probably isn't going to be a threat. But he'll try again. Well, as the next one, is he's still quite heavily into it.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to spend the... I have... Okay, sorry.
No worries. Invoke...
I'm going to spend the... How did you call the aspect, Astra? Psychology of the paranormal, or how was that?
Psychology of fear, that was the one.
Psychology.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do like it...
invoke that one
I'm
as well.
guessing Astra is going to be like, at this point, like pitching in and saying like, we know what happened or something like that.
She's cooing in your ear.
Yeah, if you want, Astra to be there doing that, that's fine.
Like she's saying helpful things. And this is...
it's another one. Yeah, he's reacting a bit more positively. The mumbling's kind of slowing down. He's becoming a bit more coherent. You both think that you can even hear the first syllables of what maybe might be the word "thank you." He's very, very slowly coming around. As we'll do the last one, just because I did say 3 rolls, even though you're 2 ahead at this point and I can't win. But you can.
I'm rolling just roll at this point.
Just roll that. Well, it's.
I'm going to throw the. Well, I still win, right? Because it was.
You were 2. You were 2 ahead, and now you're coming back
5,
to being 1.
Because the previous one was 4 against 8, so that's 4.
But under the cat and mouse rules though, it's not commutative upkeep. It's just
okay.
if you win that roll, you go one ahead.
Okay.
If you lose that roll, you then go back to 0. But you were
I guess like the last roll is I'm hugging Frank and he's sort of crying. It's like it's okay, Frank. It's okay. You're safe now. You're among friends, and then hopefully we can start talking to him and finding out what the fuck what happened.
He goes, as you say, he does start crying, and he goes very quiet for a few minutes, just breathing heavily. We'll say this. I mean, depends if you want to, but Martin, since you are so good at at investigation and particularly so quick at it, at this point you can come back into the room if you want to hear what Frank has to say, or if you want to question him at all. Otherwise, you can stay in the other room.
I had other idea.
Okay.
I was thinking that Martin would be the one questioning Frank, like, because he's the one who knows investigation, so he...
I am not good with empathy stuff,
Well, but that's why we did this. That's already done, so now he can talk and you can ask him about...
Yeah, but before I start doing my typical, asking, I wanted, instead of calling 911 and getting a shit ton of guys here that don't know us, might think of us as suspects, I would like to roll a contacts to see if I will be able to call one of my buddies from the precinct that if I roll high enough, he might be on the duty and he might even be a detective, so I might sell him this case. So instead of shit ton of police vehicles, we get nice small crew that will not treat us as a freaking crew.
You can try that roll, yeah. Great. I think that's a high enough roll. You have a buddy. He's not detective level, but he's sort of on the ground floor at the minute. He's like in a patrol car, that sort of level.
Good enough.
So he won't. Eventually, he's going to have to get the hires up involved in it. But for the minute, he can close down the scene and heavily restrict access. And it's only going to start swarming with people after he calls it in. And since he remembers you from the force, he remembers the stuff that you've done. And while he doesn't truly accept what's happened, he knows that a lot of people would be in a much worse state if it wasn't for sort of some of the things you did and that. So he's willing to sort of prolong the calling it in bit for a little while.
I'm buying us time.
Yeah. You've brought yourself a bit of time, calling in a favor, as it were.
Okay, so they see me enter the room with Frank as I just close my cell phone after I finish talking, and I look at them, look at Frank. So he okay now, Frank? It's me, Martin.
He's still breathing heavily. He's not muttering to himself anymore. He's his hands are sort of gripping his upper thighs quite hard, like really digging in, and he's just breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth heavily, just slightly rocking back and forth. He sort of opens his eyes to acknowledge that he's heard what you said, but then closes his eyes again and just concentrates on breathing a bit more.
Does he has any
I go get him some water.
That's a good idea. And I said that in character. Out of character, does he has some sort of visible personal object on himself?
Personal. He wears a necklace. He's got that draped over him. He's got a ring on his right index finger.
Because I'm trying to find something to use my psychometry power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not searching for a physical location, but I'm trying to riffle through the situation that the object has been exposed to in the past.
Something. Uh, well, yeah, he has a couple of objects on him that might work for that. Although because he's still wearing them, that does require you would have to go over and touch him.
Yeah, so Frank, like I know that we are still like that was stressful, but just you don't need to say anything, just nod if you are okay with it. If not, then just shake your head. I wanna try something. It might seem strange to you, but hey, it's been a strange day. I just want to touch one of your personal items. Is that okay with
you? He doesn't react. Well, he keeps reacting in the way he does for about 20 seconds, and then slowly, like with his breathing, he breathes in and like brings his head up, and then breathes down and brings his head down in a nodding motion, as if he was saying yes while still breathing.
So slowly with my finger, because he acts like I act to not startle him because he's still like very volatile. So very slowly, very carefully, I go and touch the item, and I close my eyes and I try to see what the item was exposed to. I use my psychometry power, which means I roll for investigation. I don't think I can add any of my stunts here, so it's only +4.
No, it's like +3 for this one. Psychometry assessments
so
are more difficult. Yeah, so
I mean normally investigation is +4 skill for me.
Yeah, but it's part of the psychometry power. It's the bottom sentence.
Good or higher. Okay, so with +3, that's 6.
Yeah, yeah, that's still you're still a very very good roll. Right, so yeah, so you're rifling through the situation, so the object is being exposed to in the past, looking for a glimpse of something significant. But you get you're focusing in on it, particularly trying to focus in on the very near past, because I imagine you're really only wanting to see this thing from the past like hour really. But you get because obviously psychometry is not an exact science. You get a very very, as you're focusing in on this, you get very quick glimpses of him buying the ring for the first time, wearing it, etc., etc. It's going through him accidentally dropping off his finger the first time that he wore it because it was too big, and like nearly immediately losing it. You get like feelings of very like feelings of warmth and loving, as this is something he's been wearing for years now. He cares a lot about it. And then you get a bit closer and glimpses of him arriving with Diane, today at the scene. Very sort of happy emotions filling him. He's there with Diane opening. Some glimpses of Tom and Alicia starting the shift today, and then like panic. You sort of see a figure bursts in to the coffee shop. You recognize this as the Frell from before. Somebody behind him, face obscured, with the glimpse you get, it just looks black. I mean, it could have been some sort of like a spell that would have done it. It could have been just a mask. Yeah, it was a very quick glimpse that you got of that, and then sort of all hell breaks loose with the glimpses you're getting. Coffee shop being destroyed, like guns being pointed at each of the employees. Frank being told to get on his hands and knees and then duct taped up, bag over his head, and thrown into the back room. And then you just see darkness, and you hear various gunshots coming in from the other room as you feel a sense of just what Frank was going through then, which is overwhelming panic, until you sort of drift back from that into the present and where you are now as you sort of come out of your psychometry.
I step back. Okay, so I guess that confirms the magic guy and the thrall were the ones that attacked this place. Frank did not see what happened with Diane.
No, you do definitely know that when Frank was like had a bag over his head and tied up, that Diane, Tom, and Alicia were all alive in the main room.
Okay, yeah, so I relay the information that last Frank saw Diane, she was alive with the others.
Also, what was sorry, I should have brought more attention to this, a thing that the thralls bursting in, it was the one normal guy, the guy with his sort of face obscured that you couldn't tell, and 2 thralls.
Okay, so there were 3 people total. Yeah, you can remind me some things, because as I said, I'm like tired and sleepy and all that. So I said there were 3 guys. We got one of them, so there's still Magic Dude and the other Thrall. And I look at this. I don't know, unless until Frank like pulls himself together. I think we got everything we can for now, so I might as well call my buddy and tell him that he might as well call it in.
As you sort of come back into the state and you're telling that, I assume, you've sort of come back in and you've sort of relaying the information, as you remember it as vividly as you can. Mm-hmm. As you go to sort of turn away and get your cell phone out of your pocket, Frank very violently and suddenly jolts with his, the right hand that you were just touching, grabs your wrist. He doesn't look up. He's still sort of doing his breathing, but from very, very quietly, sort of under his breath, you just hear him sort of whisper, "Eric."
Frank?
Who is
he? And he's still like gripping onto your it's not just like gripping. He's like with all of his strength, kind of gripping your arm here, like shaking sort of violently as he just releases your arm and just like his entire right arm almost just goes limp as he's still breathing really heavily.
Do I like make a connection between Eric name and Eric McCullough?
Yeah. It would be anybody that heard that would be the immediate one that you guys would think of, because it seems to be, from how you've been frequent in the pub, the cafe, the only Eric you've ever heard of to ever come here or have any relation to this place.
At this point, Dania will like. I was thinking of kneeling, but probably she doesn't need and like get again close to, because she stepped out for Martin to do his thing, but she'll get close to Frank again and be like, "Was it Eric? Did Eric do this?"
Yeah, he's still like right arm still limp, left still tightly gripping his own left leg, breathing as he's desperately, like, you see him trying to mouth something. He's desperately trying to get information across as he's just really, again, very quietly and like whisper, just says, "Sound like him."
Oh.
Again, he's
Your face.
leaning like even more forward at this point from his chair, like on the edge of his seat, like desperately just trying to keep his breathing under control.
Was he the one I saw in the alleyway? Now that I know to think of him.
Now that you have that connection to make, there was something familiar about him, and He was, and the sort of profile, the very quick glimpse of a profile you got did seem familiar in a way that might be like you don't know, you know of Eric because you've heard about him from Donoghue,
so,
and you've seen pictures of him, and obviously you had that initial first argument. You had the big argument with him a few weeks back. So you think it was him. Well, obviously you don't make a habit of like remembering him as much as you want. He was the dickhead ex-boyfriend of your of one of your best friends.
What the fuck face do I know? I don't know where he lives, but did he take her?
I can change that.
You can't find out though.
Well, I still have that body. It's just a matter of... Listen, I have a friend in patrol car. He gets here, he calls in the scene, I talk to him, I explain the situation. I ask him nicely if he can put out a search for Eric Makulo and his address, and then we go in.
You've seen what he can do. Do you want the police officers to have to face this? Like
no, I ask him as a friend, as a pal. Police force owes me quite a lot from my time, so they won't go in. I, for one, know that putting mundane humans against someone like that is a bad idea.
I didn't know that that Eric moved with the spirits, though.
Neither did I, and that smells fishy for me.
I don't know, but if that asshole has Diane, I'm going to throw him off a roof. What a fucking prick.
I mean,
do we know?
I told her that he was a jerk and she should have broken up with him earlier.
Do you know what? Sorry.
That he's the one responsible, or just that he was here. Maybe he's a thrall too.
You don't know. All you know, and the only reason Eric is, Eric's even a potential is because Frank's whispered it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Right. Sorry, I thought that was a question to directly me, the GM. Carry on with your hypotheticals.
I say, I don't know. From what I saw, from what I gathered, Eric is the best lead we have right now.
Yeah, probably do.
So, wanna do anything else, or can I call in our buddy?
Maybe we should investigate ourselves.
Investigate what?
Eric's place. We know what to expect.
Well, we will, but first we need to learn the place itself, and I will do that.
With a phone book?
No, simply asking the buddy from the police that will arrive. Because I'm guessing police cars have freaking police databases, computers in them, so they can just insert Eric McCullough search address, and that will be all.
Yeah, that's
do it.
Sure, I'll be able to do that.
Yeah, so I will leave you. I'm gonna make a call, so I leave you, like Dania, Astra and Frank, and I call my buddy. Okay, thanks for buying us time. You can call it in. And it would be good if you arrive here too. I might have one small favor to ask.
Yeah, anything. What can I do for?
Well, I think it's better if I ask you like in person after I explain the situation.
Oh, one of the... Yeah, don't worry, man. I understand.
Yeah, it's one of those.
John, do you need... Is it immediate assistance, or do you want me to take my time getting there?
Nah, it's already... The deed was done. We are trying to figure out the situation.
Sure. I'll. Traffic's a bit heavy at the moment. People commuting to work. It'll take me about 10 minutes to get over there.
Yeah, you can call it in also, like, you know, another containment unit, some ambulances or coroner to take the bodies.
Oh, okay. Immediate call it in is right. Yeah, sure. I'll call it in when I get off the phone with you. Well, I'll make sure I'm the first on the scene, then I'll call it in.
Yeah, see ya then.
Sure. See you in a minute, man.
Okay. I don't do anything else until he arrives.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Anybody else want to do that, or anything before the cop arrives, or do you want to just fast forward to that?
Let's fast forward.
Should
Sure.
we make ourselves as scarce and let the cops deal with the cops and that stuff? I'm asking Martin because he knows this stuff.
What do I think? First thing I look is I try to see if their intrusion like disturbed the crime scene. If like check if one of you like stepped into blood or something.
Okay.
Well, I guess we chased off someone, so we should probably deal with that.
Yeah, you can give them the once over and everything. There's nothing like immediately obvious that a cop's going to come in and be like, right, well, you're arrested. They seem to be fairly, they kept clean during all of the violence.
As far as you are concerned, you are just friends that came to this place same time as me, that bore witness to this horrible murder.
Yeah. They are the faces of innocent bystanders.
Yes.
Okay.
So we go with that narration. Unless you screw it up and insert something that you should not have, then you are fine with being here where you are. I will explain everything to the police. I was one of them after all.
Okay.
And in which case, your buddy pulls up. Gets out the car. Danny, why not? Daniel, friends call him Danny. Walks out and sort of you hear he opens the door. You hear it with the little doorbell that a little bell that's above the door that jangles every time someone walks in, and he is sort of he walks in a bit tense, not exactly knowing what to expect, and you see his face sort of recall a bit of oh god damn it, and that kind of never gets any easier to see a dead body way. As he sees you, Martin, gives you a little nod and speaks out the door to tell his partner to call it in as he takes off his hat and walks over to you.
Okay, I also give a nod, probably like shake his hand when he comes closer. Officer Daniel, good to see you here. And I gave him like a quick over that, well, me and like other like those two that are also like we are, you can say, regulars for this bar. It was quite a good place to drink and spend time, and the first thing we saw was those two poor kids. I say that they were doing here like shifts. They were like working here to make college money or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't like turned over the body of the Tom, and I of course say the male one is Tom, the female one is Alicia. Alicia. And
yes.
From what I can tell, they both died from gunshot wounds. There is the Frank like still in the back?
Yeah, he's still on unless somebody's tried to move him, he's still just on the chair, just
I suggest
breathing
we do
heavily.
not move him. Well, when we entered, I tried to check the rest of the store to make sure the culprit was not here, and as it turned out, somebody was here in the like re-entrance, and if you can follow me, and as we get to the room, this is Frank. Don't try to like disturb him, he's like traumatized by what happened. And I pointed the body. This guy, I don't know, can we like Danny probably doesn't believe in supernatural, So
No, not fully. He's seen a few things,
Mhm.
but he's
yeah,
he's
but
attempting to
he
rationalize it.
yeah, he's rational. Yeah. So I say, this guy, I can say it. You don't need to wait for ballistics report. I had to put him down in self-defense. When I entered, there was like, I think two of them. I heard like one person maybe running away, and this guy didn't respond to my calls. You know, I did the entire standard protocol, called him to freeze, put his hands up. Instead, he just reacted with violence, trying to like knock me out. And as you can see, he was a big guy, so one hit and I was probably out cold. So I had to respond with deadly force.
Hmm.
He was, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe he was like on drugs or something. He seemed like out of his mind.
Danny's like standard cop procedure. He's got a notepad. He's sort of recording all of this down. Sort of nodding along, getting sort of, oh yes, like completely understand you. You know, did what you had to. Nobody's going to be questioning that this was self-defense. Especially if you walked in to see this guy roughing up. Looks at his notepad, Frank here. It's always just a shame when it has to come to something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So total number of perpetrators, 2, maybe more, maybe 3. I'm not exactly sure from like investigating the area. I would have like one about that favor though. We might have a lead, but that might be too dangerous for normal, like, you know, this might be, as I said, might be one of those cases. So for now, I'd like to. Oh, also before I say that, well, we have those bodies, but we also have Diane Bassett, the owner of the bar. There is no body of hers here, so for now I suspect she was taken or kidnapped. For what? I don't know. But let's say I have a lead. Not sure one, so I don't want to bother police with it. But if you can use your police computer and search for address for one Eric McCullough, I would be grateful. That might help us to in solving this situation.
Right. It's one of those cases. All right, Frank. All right, Martin. I never feel comfortable about doing this, but you've been right more times than anybody else. All right, I'll do this as a favor, as you said. He goes back into his car, sits down. The other officer comes in. You don't know who he is. He seems fairly green to all of this. He's looking at the bodies like he's about to throw up. He goes back.
Fresh recruits never change.
Danny, Daniel, whatever you want to call him, comes back in, and he says, "All right, I got here. Eric seems to be the East End. The East Green, the east side of town in the East Green. He's at 1503 5th Street. That's not gotten any better in the intervening years. You know that as being on the force as a sort of a poverty-filled area, like it's ruled by a gang of drug dealers that you've probably come into contact with before. It's there's no money goes into developing that whatsoever. It's a very crime-ridden part of town. Not safe.
Well, sounds like a place for scumbags and criminals to hide.
But yeah, he gives you the address, 1503 5th Street.
So thank you very much for that. If it turns out that the lead is good, I might be retired, but I still remember how it's done in the police, so don't you worry.
Danny has a sort of look on his face of he appreciates that, and then just says, I know you can. I know you're a man to trust, Martin, which is why I never had this conversation.
This what conversation?
Exactly. Now, if you bystanders can please clear out, we're going to be closing the scene for a police investigation.
Yeah, clear it out, ladies.
Yeah.
And just to make sure, if you need like full statements from us, we do that and then clear the scene.
Yeah. Get names and addresses and stuff, but we might have police follow-up questions. I'm sure you guys can understand. We'll be in contact if it comes to that.
Of course, Officer Daniel.
Yeah. He as you say that, he has a very very professional please clear out look on his face, but it just very quickly cracks into a smile, and then he recovers. It's like, thank you, sir. The exit is that way.
Okay, understood.
So we all
Come
leave.
on. Yeah.
As he's leaving, you hear him turn around. It's like, right, and he starts giving out orders. Okay, go in the back. There's a person there. Just stay with him. Make sure he doesn't run. Don't panic. He's clearly gone through a lot. Just keep an eye on him. We'll load him into the ambulance, and he's slowly fading out as you're leading. Yes, you have the address of Eric. It's this cafe is on quite a nice part of town, so it'll take you about 20 minutes, half hour to drive there. You guys will, you all have cars. Martin, you almost definitely would.
Yep.
Astra, maybe the way you're playing it, Jason wouldn't, but you all have ways of travel, obviously.
Yep.
I just especially look at Dania, and I say, well, if this is a kidnapping, probably every second, every minute counts. But I must ask.
Yeah.
Sure, you're feeling okay to continue? Everything all right?
Yeah, I've had worse headaches, which is a lie, but that's what she says.
Yeah, I believe. Okay, if you say so. I should have my car, this old freaking bumpy but sturdy
I
classic.
think my character rides a bike.
Okay, so you might have your bike.
Motorbike.
I might have my car. Maybe I put some money from my retirement fund, and maybe I just bought it when I was still on the force as a private car. So Astra, if you need a ride, then my car should be
Sure.
and we go to that place. Just fair warning, this is not a nice district, but it
shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, let's go. If it's a time-sensitive thing, let's go.
Yeah, we get to our respective vehicles and ride up to that
I
place.
think I'll go with Martin better than driving my bike. And I'm gonna take another quick break because I drink too much tea. And
Yeah,
I have
actually,
to
yeah. If we're about to travel to a different scene, if anybody needs a drink or to pee or anything, please take this time. In fact, actually, I'm going to grab a drink. So
Yeah.
if everybody wants to take just 2 minutes, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.